It is much higher than the KL tower that we looked down from yesterday. And I knew that we had to go back. Our team sat there for 20 minutes in silence. What can we say? You can see from here the Hillary stack, and the summit is just there. 100 meters more to go, maybe an hour more to climb. All the preparation for the last few years came almost to an end at the South Summit. But up there, we enjoyed the most magnificent view we could ever see. Everywhere was below us. We can see right up the horizon. Every single mountain was just below where we stood at the South Summit of Everest. And it was time to go because our oxygen level was running low. We had to descend the mountain. And I had one look at the South Summit of Everest. One last look at the very ridge that we were supposed to climb. And something tells me that I will be back. And for the next few years, Everest kept knocking at my door. The scene at the South Summit kept appearing. For one reason or another, everywhere I turn in a corner during the day, I see the mountain. It spoke to me almost every day. And at the South Summit, I realized one thing, that Everest was well within my reach. Had the ropes been there, our team would have been up there standing on the summit. And I know Everest was knocking, but it is the way she beckons, it is the way she knocks. Something inside me was really uneasy. And I had to find this answer within me. And I asked and I searched, and I heard what I hear. Inside me, there's this question: what is the point of doing something that you know you can do? I know I have to go back to Everest, but inside me, why waste 2-3 years preparing and going through all that again to do precisely something that you know you can do? Where is the challenge? The top part of Everest lies above 8,000 meters. They call it the death zone. It is called the death zone for a reason that no human beings can survive above 8,000 meters, even with food and water being supplied. And the main reason is because the oxygen level is so low that it cannot maintain bodily functions. The cells cannot regenerate, and your body will decline and you will slowly die. They say that maybe in a span of 5 days or 7 days, you will not be alive on top of Everest. And medical science has already ruled out people climbing into the death zone many, many years ago. Over 2,000 people have climbed Everest. 100 have climbed to the top without using supplementary oxygen. The rest use oxygen so that they can be warmer and they can have more strength and they're stronger. I then decided, why not climb Everest without oxygen this time? You know your limits, you know where you've been to, and you know what it can accomplish. Why not up the notch? So that was the journey to begin to climb Everest without oxygen. But it is one thing to have a burning desire and quite another to actually do something about it. Most people stop there because to actually do something requires action. And action is the thing that will kill most big endeavors. I fell victim to that as well. A lot of questions came flying like daggers. Where are you going to find the money? How are you going to find a team? Are you good enough? Are you willing to sacrifice your career, your friends, and your family just to climb a mountain? And as you're going through all these, there's also another voice inside you. The other voice will say, don't do these kind of things. What's the point of it? What do you get up from the mountain down here that is tangible? And it is so dangerous. Why not do something easier? There are about 101 things that are waiting for you to do. Why go through all this effort? And are you prepared to die on the mountain? Reality bites. When you come to embark on an expedition where life and death is involved, you think through it all week. You have to justify why are you doing such a thing. I would be lying if I said I wasn't afraid. 200 people have been killed on Everest in the last 50 years since it was first climbed. Statistically, 4 every year. In 1996, 13 people were killed on Everest because the weather closed in and they could not get off the mountain. And I asked myself, do I really want to take up this challenge? And I can tell you, overcoming all these obstacles was a bigger thing than actually climbing the mountain itself, particularly finding the money and convincing yourself this is a challenge worth going for. But I decided that if I really, really want to do something, no matter what it is, maybe in your minds, in your own project, in your own little thing, if you really want to do something, you have to really find the reason to do it. You cannot avoid all these obstacles. Avoidance was not an option. And I began to list down all the things that I needed to do, and I had to tackle them one by one. First, I needed a team. Just like in any one of your projects, you need a good team. Not just any team, a very good team. And in mountaineering, it is very difficult to find a group of people with the same aspiration, excitement, passion, and can trust each other with their lives. Because in mountaineering, any compromise can mean at best a failure, but at worst, death. I chose 3 climbers. Leong is a very fit triathlete, and he's also climbed up to 7,000 meters. Mok, he's a doctor and a climber, and also climbed up to 6,000 over meters. At that time, not many people from Southeast Asia, not like in the western part of the world, in the US, Europe, have climbed above 7,000 meters. In Singapore, maybe only a handful. Malaysia, also a handful. Less than 10 have climbed up so high. And Edwin has actually submitted Everest with oxygen, and he wants to take a greater challenge to go up without oxygen. 4 of us in 1997 was trapped in a tent at 7,300 meters. At that time, it was the highest that any Southeast Asian has been. We went up there at high camp. Weather was good. And when we settled into camp, we started using oxygen because the air was thin, and the first time you can't be too complacent and be safe. But when nightfall came, the wind got stronger and it started to snow. And it got stronger and stronger until it ripped our tents. And the whole tent collapsed, and it was dark. And 4 of us huddled in a tent, freezing and watching the oxygen depleting right in front of us. We were there praying for the weather to go away.